Well, good afternoon. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to the Pinecastle Inspirations Luncheon. My name is Sarah Huppert, and I'm the current board chair. I'd like to start off with a special thank you to our generous sponsors for their support of today's event: ViStar Credit Union, Smart Talks, Sight and Sound Productions, Riverfront Cafe and Catering, Hudson Cookie Company, and Beeson 4 Media. I'd also like to thank our wonderful board members who are here today. We appreciate all that you do for Pinecastle throughout the year. Pinecastle works very hard to live its mission each and every day, to empower adults with intellectual and developmental differences through opportunities to learn, work, and connect. The participant stories that will be shared today show the direct impact that this mission and vision of this organization have on the lives of those we serve. Thank you all for coming today, and especially to those of you who attended one of our Pinecastle Experience tours this year. For those of you who have not attended one of our very special one-hour tours, I'd encourage you to do so. During the tour, you'll see firsthand one of our group homes, visit the Pinecastle radio station, learn about our production warehouses, and much more. I promise you it will be a most inspirational experience, and we even include lunch. Let Wendy Mayle know if you want to schedule a tour. Her contact information is in your program. I am very proud to be a second-generation Pinecastle supporter. I first became aware of Pinecastle almost 30 years ago when my father, Jim Henry, first served on the board. Over the years, my parents have engaged in many ways through board service, volunteering, creating and supporting Jane's Garden, hosting workshop Christmas parties, business connections, and renovating a workshop. Because of them, I attended many events and visited the campus, learning a little something new about the participants and the organization's impact each time. I saw the great work they were doing, and I wanted to be a part of it. Since I'm blessed to serve as a trustee for a family philanthropic fund started by my stepfather, I finally got the opportunity to make my own contribution, and I began to support the band and music program right here. Yay, flashbacks. When I was asked to join the board 4 years ago, I was thrilled to deepen my involvement and have done all I can to advocate for our mission. I even encouraged my own children to be involved through volunteering and giving small donations for special projects. So, why Pinecastle? Well, first, it's just a happy place. And my cheeks are often sore after being here from sharing the joy and enthusiasm of our participants. More importantly, as a teacher for over 30 years, I truly appreciate the growth and learning opportunities that our participants receive. They build relationships, learn skills, and gain independence. These amazing individuals are able to reach their fullest potential here at Pinecastle, and that is a great gift. So, there are many things that make Pinecastle such a great place for people with differences. It's an opportunity for them to freely express themselves and be empowered to make their own decisions. This year, the participants made a special gift for each of us to enjoy. Using scrap pieces from our woodshop, the participants sanded, painted, and designed a beautiful coaster for each of you to take home. It's at your place setting. With the theme of The Future is Bright, Pinecastle's participants made sure to use vibrant colors, created artwork depicting feelings of joy and happiness, and shared this precious keepsake with all of us. One of the many activities that our participants can choose from is the Pinecastle Band and Chorus. We are privileged to have music director come to Pinecastle 3 days a week to work with our participants who are interested in music, and we're grateful to the Clinton Family Fund for their sponsorship of this program. So here to perform This Is Me, under the instruction of music director Abigail Gruber, are the Flashbacks Band and our local celebrity and friend, Mama Blue.
Stranger to the dark, hide away, they say, no one but your broken parts. I learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Hide run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. Won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest word's gonna cut me down, gonna send the flood, gonna drown 'em out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. Oh.
Another round of bullets hits my skin, so far away, 'cause today I won't let this feeling end. We are bursting through the barricades, reaching for the sun. We are glorious, yes, that's what we become. But I won't let them break me down to dust, 'cause I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send the flood, gonna drown it out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be was awesome. Awesomeness. All right.
First of all, I want to welcome you to the annual Inspirations Luncheon, and thank you for investing your time to be with us today. I'm Lori Ann Whittington. I'm the CEO here at Pine Castle, and honestly, I'm just happy that we're even here today. Not only because we are together in person as we come out of the COVID pandemic, but also because Pine Castle itself is still here, and our participants are still here. My biggest personal challenge over the last 18 months has been to first keep our participants safe, and second, to keep Pine Castle open when many other agencies are failing all around us. From March to September of this year, 115 group homes and 15 day programs just like Pine Castle throughout the state of Florida closed permanently. It's very sad, but Pine Castle is still here, so we're very excited about that. My worst day of the pandemic was the day they called to tell me that one of our group home residents, who was vaccinated, had taken a turn for the worse in the hospital. He had contracted the Delta variant and pneumonia. They called to tell me he wasn't going to make it. I really just fell to my knees and sobbed, feeling all the weight of the responsibility. But then I started calling everyone that knew him, members of his church and our staff, to pray for him and told them that we needed a miracle. The miracle came 4 days later, and he sat up and began talking and coming back to life, and now he's back on our campus doing daily activities and thriving. He truly inspires me. The tenacity and perseverance of our participants inspire me. Yes, that story could have ended very differently, but if it had, there are so many participants that overcome simple challenges like getting dressed, taking long transportation rides, working around their disability just to get to Pine Castle every day that it's astounding. If many of us had the same inconveniences that they deal with daily, we wouldn't do it. But they do it. They persevere. And Pine Castle will persevere thanks to many of you. I want to personally thank all of our Inspiration Society donors, our programmatic donors, our Castle Builders campaign project donors, and because of their continued generosity during this pandemic, we're still here. Your commitment allowed Pine Castle to stay strong even when other agencies failed. You may not know that we're only 60% funded by government sources, so your contributions really fill the gap. Just as the parents who founded Pine Castle in 1952 were truly visionary in their work, we have to be visionary for our participants in the future. In January, you will begin hearing about how we have raised more than $1 million over the past couple of years in restricted donations to completely renovate the campus with projects like the Kitchen and Cafe Complex, while at the same time developing a new curriculum for the college-like Pine Castle Academy, thanks to significant contributions from funders like the Family Alliance Foundation and the Henry and Lucy Gooding Endowment. You will also hear that we're announcing a campaign to raise another $1 million to make Pine Castle debt-free for the future. Thank you. We're very excited about that, and I'm honored to say that Jerry and Sarah Malott and Andrew and Kitty Crenshaw are going to be our honorary co-chairs for that campaign, and they're here with us today, so thank you for being here. Next year, we will also be celebrating Pine Castle's 70th anniversary in the community. Yay! And we're celebrating by bringing back the traditional Pine Castle barbecue on Saturday, November 5th as a community celebration. So join us next year. I think the save the date's in your program. So just a little bit about the Academy as I finish up here. Our theme of The Future is Bright speaks to our hopeful outlook and how we are working to connect all of our services into the new Pine Castle Academy that will open in August of 2022. Participants will choose a path to follow, either the pathway to community employment or the pathway to life enrichment. You see, there's a current waiting list of 1,700 adults here in just Northeast Florida who need services like Pine Castle has to offer, and we can only serve 300 a day. For those that select the pathway to community employment, they will be trained for jobs in the community, and that we will help them become more independent and be able to direct them in the course of their own lives. Once they graduate from the academy and move on to these jobs, it will create openings at Pine Castle to accept more adults from the waiting list and give them hope for a bright future as well. While we develop the academy concept, we must continue to work with employers to be ready to accept these individuals into their companies. We need to educate them that this is another significant human rights issue, fully integrating adults with differences as productive employees into the workforce so that typical employees can learn the value of all they have to offer. For those unable to work or uninterested in work, or for those who have completed their time of working, such as our seniors, they can choose the pathway to life enrichment. They will continue to experience classes in life skills and participate in extracurricular activities like our band and chorus that you saw today, with a greater focus on community inclusion. This means more volunteer opportunities, field trips to arts and cultural institutions, sporting events, and more outside of our walls. Our goal is not only to provide richer experiences for our participants, but also to have everyone in Jacksonville learn to see the value of having them as part of our community. There are 3 specific ways that your involvement in our mission can help us make this Pine Castle Academy a reality. First, to have more community inclusion opportunities for those on the pathway to life enrichment, we need to hire a community outreach coordinator who could take a group of 10 participants at a time on a special outing or out to volunteer. That's up to 50 participants a week that would be able to experience more community inclusion. Second, to be able to place more individuals in community employment, we also need to enhance our staffing in the community employment division. By adding 2 additional job coaches, we can help 20 more participants each year get ready to reach their goals of securing a job in the community. And that will open up spaces at Pine Castle to accept new participants from that big waiting list. Third, for those graduating from the pathway to community employment, we need to hire a community engagement coordinator who will work to identify 20 more employers that will hire 20 of our participants as they graduate from the academy. The future is really bright for Pine Castle and our participants. And I invite each of you to join us today by investing in your own way to help build a way forward for these incredible individuals. Now, please enjoy hearing from some of our participants and their families in our special Pine Castle video.
My name is Betsy Jacobs. My brother Chip came to Pine Castle in 1981. In terms of when things were diagnosed or when we started realizing differences, Chip's never truly been diagnosed. He could certainly learn skills and be trained to do certain things, but working independently and on his own was a struggle. And that's when Pine Castle came into the mix.
My name is Rosalind Brown. My daughter is Brittany Brown. She attends Pine Castle for the day training program. Brittany has a lot of diagnoses. She has cerebral palsy, that's her main diagnosis. She also has ADHD, and if she wasn't in a wheelchair, I think she would be ripping and running and climbing up the walls because she's full of energy. When we came to Pine Castle to do the tour, Brittany asked, "Do you have a poetry club?" Because she likes to write poetry. And evidently, Brittany was instrumental in doing the poetry club. And I like to read or listen to some of her poems, and I'm glad she's got that outlet here because it makes her happy.
I'm Brian House. I'm the President and Chief Executive Officer of Moran Environmental Recovery. We are helping a person with developmental disabilities on a daily basis. We've seen this person grow in front of us and develop, which has been awesome. Bobby, just like all of our employees, he's family. He's one of us, and he maintains great discipline. When he comes to work every day, he does his job to the best of his abilities. So he exemplifies who we are as an organization. He's one of my favorite employees in the company. Being from Boston and him from Jacksonville, we have a little running joke going on about our football teams, and it's always a pleasure to see Bobby. No matter what kind of day you're having, Bobby will brighten your day up if you spend 5 minutes with him. He's just a terrific person.
My name is Catherine Frazier. My daughter is Holly Frazier. She lives in Pine Castle Group Home number 2 and attends the day program. When she was in school, she was diagnosed as educable, mentally handicapped. Holly has always loved people, loved to be friends, and the people that she would like to be friends with were not always welcoming. They didn't really want to be her friend. And I see a lot less of that now. It seems like she's a lot more generally content on a day-to-day basis, and I'm so glad for that.
Chip has been at Pine Castle for 36 years. Chip and I are very close in age and inseparable as little kids. As we got a little older and got to school age, there were some differences. My parents did a lot of struggling to find out the right path for Chip. Chip was never able to learn how to drive, and having the opportunity to be presented with an opportunity like take a written exam and become certified with the guidance and support and help of this amazing staff at Pine Castle.
Brittany was born 3 months premature, so we had struggles from the beginning. I call her my little miracle baby. The first hardest part was leaving her at the hospital, knowing that I couldn't take her home with me. Then she stopped breathing, and we thought we were going to lose her. Sometimes my heart just kind of just goes out to her, and it's a hard thing to deal with.
Bobby's very disciplined, he's very regimented. He comes in every day. He is in charge of facility maintenance here for us. He keeps the place clean, as he likes to say if you've talked to him. He basically goes through the building from top to bottom and makes sure that we're shipshape and ready to go.
My daughter Holly, when she was growing up, I always tended to protect her and baby her, and at one time I thought I would never want her to move out, and then suddenly when she was 30, I realized she doesn't need to be living at home anymore. She needs some more independence. She needs to move on to better things.
Our situation at Pine Castle has been amazing and wonderful, and I know the experience for so many people has just been life-changing for the individual as well as for the family. And the hope, I think, for Pine Castle is that as Pine Castle grows and is able to grow, that more individuals can benefit from this environment and see the just amazing things that can happen to an individual like this.
Meeting Brittany is a special thing because once you meet her, you never forget her. When we came to Pine Castle, I can remember when she said, "I feel like I belong, Mom, I feel like I belong." And I said, well, why is that, Brittany? She says, "I have someone that I can talk to." And when she got here, she kind of felt like she could hold a conversation that she wanted to hold with people. And it made her feel good about herself.
I feel like she's in a good place where she's looked after, where they're doing what they can to give her as full and rewarding a life as they're able to do. Say, if she were living just with me, it would be Holly and me, and how much can I do? I don't know. Not as much as a lot of people working here in an agency can do.
I would encourage anybody that's thinking about getting involved with an organization like Pine Castle to do it and go learn what they do, go tour the facility. They do wonderful work, and the companies that employ Pine Castle employees actually get probably more out of the experience than the employee themselves do.
Good afternoon. My name is Michelle Johnson. I'm the director of the Life Enrichment Program. And I've been here, how many years?
27 years, Ms. Marcel.
27 years. That's a long time, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, it's my honor and pleasure to introduce you to my friend and coworker, Darlene. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Darlene Brooks. I am how old, Ms. Marcel?
You're 32, which would mean you were 5 when I started.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, goodness, right?
Yes, ma'am. I grew up, I was angry and very upset most of the time.
Before you came to Pine Castle?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I ain't had no friends, and it made me really sad.
Yeah, so you had a couple dreams for yourself before you came to Pine Castle.
Yeah,
3 of them, right? What
yes,
were
ma'am.
they?
Get a job, get friends, and work.
And work. So how did you end up here at Pine Castle?
After high school, I ended up starting the day program and learning new skills and getting along with my friends.
Yeah, and how are you doing with all that?
I'm doing great.
You seem like a pretty mature lady to me, right?
Yes, I am.
And I understand you're on our community employment path. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
I am in South 2. I will ride for a car company, and I love it.
The Aquatico Company is where you do the wires?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you got a couple, 2 special staff you like
Miss
in there?
Miss Tamara in South 2 and Mr. George in South 1.
Mr. George, that's a big man on campus,
Yes,
right?
he is.
That's a big man on campus. All right. And you're also involved in a really great program that you started called Rosie the Riveters. You want to tell me about that?
Yeah, I'm the president of the Rosie River Club, where I'm able to provide other women like myself to conquer their dreams.
Yeah. And so what do you guys do?
We sell cookies, and snacks and drinks.
So you have your own carts you guys
Carts
move
and
around?
stuff. Yes, ma'am.
You want to tell them a little bit about the history of the Rosie the Riveters?
I want you to do it, Ms.
You want me to
Marcel.
do it?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's do it together. So the Rosie the Riveters started around World War II, right?
Yes,
All the
ma'am.
men were in the machine shops, and they were working on airplane parts and ammunition and things like that. And the war started, and they sent all the men out to war.
Yes, ma'am.
So who'd they bring into the warehouse to do
The
all that
women.
work? The women, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, and so they stayed in there and worked until the war was over. What happened when the war was over?
The men want their job back.
They wanted their job back. And yeah, and what did the women say?
Hell no.
Hell, oh. All right, well, they said that, yes, and they didn't go back to work, right?
No.
So the point of the Rosie Riveters is to empower women, right, and
Yes,
have them
ma'am.
out there in the workforce.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, any last things you want to
Put
say?
sunglasses on, please.
Put my sunglasses on?
Miss Marcel.
Okay, hold on one second. Let me put my sunglasses. You want to put your sunglasses on?
Yes, ma'am.
And why are we putting these sunglasses on?
Because the future is bright.
Future is bright.
Good afternoon. My name is Philip Boyce, and I am the current board chair emeritus. First, I would like to thank you, Darlene, for sharing that story with us. It was very uplifting, and it takes a lot of courage to get up here and stand in front of all these people and share your life's journey. We really appreciate you speaking with us, and I think you're a budding comedian, so keep doing that. I first learned about Pine Castle from work colleagues that were on the golf committee of Pine Castle's annual golf event. One of those colleagues eventually became chairman of the board and would talk to me about Pine Castle from time to time. Later, our family moved, and we learned that there was a Pine Castle group home across the street from us, so that gave me a wonderful opportunity to see up close the participants and the staff that lived there. A few years later, at work, I was asked if I'd like to serve on the board of a local charity. Well, I immediately thought of Pine Castle. But what really sealed the deal for me about being on the board, the possibility of being on the board of this wonderful organization, was a tour of the campus. My Pine Castle experience was amazing. It gave me an opportunity to see firsthand the many facets of Pine Castle. I saw up close the wonderful work that Pine Castle did and the love with which they did it. So for me, I was ready to serve if they would have me. Now, as a board member, as an advocate, and as a donor, I'm thrilled to be part of Pine Castle's vision for the future that includes a pathway to possibilities, so that participants can have a choice in their training and a life of independence. Today, you've heard the Pine Castle story and met some wonderful people. I trust you'll see the importance of their work and the needs to sustain their operations for the future. It is my privilege to ask you that you help us grow our Inspirations Society. Your financial support is vital for the valuable programs being provided to the participants and residents of Pine Castle. Not for new building, not for equipment, but for the day-to-day operations, which is the hardest type of funding to come by. We are inviting you to join today and extend your 5-year pledge.
On behalf of everyone here at Pine Castle, we want to say thank you for coming and for all of your support today. We hope you'll share with others what you've learned and heard here today. Remember, if you'd like to join us for a Pine Castle experience or help host a tour in the future, Wendy Mayle is waiting for your call. You can give her a call. Her contact information is on your program. Again, we thank you so much for coming and spending this hour with us here today. Have a wonderful day. Take care.